I'll fight with the strength that I got until I die. So I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me together.
Happy Black History Month, everybody, and welcome to Write the Truth, in where we're going to discuss today the problem with Black History Month in 2024. Yeah, it's very controversial, and I want to talk about it today. Before we get started, I do want to let you guys know I'm Patricia Guzar. I am the author of Where the Stars Hide, a young adult dystopian fantasy novel that was just published about 4 months ago. So if you're interested in reading, especially since it's Black History Month, let me know what you think. You can get it on Amazon. Here's the book. A big problem with Black History Month, I think one of the earliest memories I have about learning about Black history on Black History Month was probably like the 3rd grade. We watched some march with Martin Luther King, and honestly I left out of there hating white people, but I just knew that this was horrible. How could this happen? And I honestly just hated white people. After a couple of days I got over it and I didn't have that feeling anymore. And I know a lot of people feel like, hey, maybe we should just get rid of Black History Month, because if we got rid of it, people wouldn't be so angry and then they can just get over it and leave it in the past, which I think is kind of bad, because we have to remember the past. We can't just erase history just because it makes people uncomfortable. But the problem with Black history in the modern times is learning about it. And these days we learn about it a lot. We learn about the history of Black people and any oppression that we face. We hear about it way more than we used to. But it seems to not be doing what we hoped. Just like when I was a kid, it made me angry. And we don't want people to be angry. We want people to move on. Obviously, we have to move on. We can't do anything about our current situation if we're still stuck in what happened in the 60s. And you would think that what happened in the 60s was something that was horrific and bad, and whatever is going on today in contrast is way much better. We have so much more opportunity. So many things have changed. We don't have the same issues our grandparents, our great grandparents, our parents had to go through, but we are still struggling with the freedoms we have. Regardless of systemic racism of the past, we are free to do and go and say whatever we want, just like anybody else in this country. Why are we still struggling? Why is this still a problem? And not even just the struggle, Black suicide has gone up a lot now. And obviously we have social media to blame. Suicide has gone up in all communities, but it's actually gone up a lot more in Black communities. And one of the things that I grew up hearing was that suicide was a white thing. It was not a thing Black people did. Typically you would think an oppressed people, especially in the past with slavery and the Jim Crow laws, in those times you would think that you would see a lot of that suicide rates in Black communities. But we don't really see that. During those time periods, a lot of Black people, we were dealing with like not having jobs, being discriminated against like daily. That was like part of your daily bread, to be discriminated against. But for some reason, we thrived in our lives. It wasn't something, although these things were really bad, that wasn't something that we thought that we should kill ourselves over. We still had a community. We had spirituality. We went to church. We had that community. Like Martin Luther King was a pastor, and that was a place for people to gather together to heal, probably from the atrocities that they experienced. So why is it that now in 2024 we have an increase in suicide? Yeah, I definitely would blame social media and the comparison and looking at other people and they have this and you don't have that. But I also blame social media because we are bombarded with so much information of a death here, a killing there, all these atrocities, and when you're getting so much information of so many things happening all over the world and bombarded, you will feel hopeless, especially when it's concentrated on African Americans' struggle. So with everything that happened in the past and all the struggle our ancestors had to go through to get to where we are now, why is it as if nothing has changed? Why does it feel like nothing has changed? The truth is, a lot of things have changed, but the way we act, the way we deal with things, the things that we teach our kids, you would think that we were still living in the 60s, the 50s, the 40s. We're telling our kids, they've never had to go through the things our ancestors had to go through, but we teach them as if it's happening right now. Like the things that we're going through, we have no hope, we have no opportunity. There's literally just, this is the life that we have, and we're always going to be struggling, we're always going to fight. And we kind of glorify struggling so much. Being happy and just enjoying your life, as much as we try to like push it, like with Black Boy Joy and Black Girl Magic, they're really not bringing hope to this next generation. Now, I'm going to pass the rest of this video over to Gabrielle Solange with Life is Better With You Here.
There's been a growing hopelessness in the Black community, and the suicide rate has been increasing like never before. But what Black history teaches me is that during a time where it was the worst oppression, things that we could only imagine or read about, they had the most hope. This hopeless narrative that we've been listening to and telling ourselves needs to change. There is victory in our veins. We are people who fight to live. And I think that now, one of the keys to truly overcoming the spirit of death is the revival of the spirit of Black history and the things that we have overcome.
No, I won't forget all the battles that we've won, all because of what they've done. Look at how far we've come, and I will continue to run. They have passed me the baton. I will keep on marching, keep on marching, keep on marching on.